Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to race number 4 of the Freedom Racing Sunday Night Series. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this grid here. Maybe. That is not good, actually. Alright, we're going to reload this in quick. Give me 1 second, folks. What the fuck's... I am currently having issues, actually. It's not good. Let's try and reload this again. Alright, well, for the time being, we'll try and get this up and going at some point. Not quite sure what's going on. Alright, we got everything working. Sorry about that, folks. Slow technical difficulties. To catch you up, Rob Hamp, I believe, was on the pole. Things that we should note is that we have 2 sets of tires this week. This is going to be a big factor here because you're going to probably want to try and save your tires as much as you can early on here, as we do not have a lot of, I would say, change to spare here on the tire set. You're going to be using up a lot of that right front, potentially that right rear if you are able to use it more than your right front. I do know from talking to a few drivers, this is going to be a very difficult race trying to manage everything. Please excuse me while I still continue to get stuff set up here. I'm going to be watching the wreck here. This little bit of contact from Johan. I believe that's Johan and Cody Porter. That's going to bring out the first caution of the night. So if we can go back here and watch and see what happened to them. I'm not sure if my button's going to work properly, so we're going to try and... Alright. Looks like there's a little bit of... Looks like Johan got a little bit looser and I accidentally collected Cody Porter there. Unfortunately, I still cannot change my cameras. There we go. Alright, this is going to be a... I apologize, folks. This is going to be a second while I continue to be able to set stuff up. But for the time being, we are going to take a look at our weather info, which is somehow not visibly... it is glitching out, actually. Well, I am not sure what happened to my widgets here. We'll just go over air temp here. It's currently 85 out. Track temperature is 87. So it's a fairly hot and slick track. It's very clear here, and you'll be able to kind of see going down the backstretch coming out of 2, you're going to get a lot of sun on that windshield. I do think that's going to be a factor here, especially on these restarts where you're 2, 3 wide, and if you are blindsided by the sun, you're going to have the potential of missing your corner, messing up, like potentially messing up your line, either jumping. You can kind of see here there's seams here on this track, and when you sometimes jump these seams, it'll get you either super loose or it'll get you a little bit tight. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for. I'm going to continue to try and get my stuff set up under this caution. I apologize for any inconveniences that this is bringing. I had tried this, or I had loaded this up during practice and qualifying. It looked to have worked just fine, and I accidentally clicked one button and it disappeared. So that is not very cool. Alright, I think I was able to get most of this stuff set up. We're not going to have this be probably a perfect stream, but I've got set up what I need to be to hopefully put on a good broadcast for you guys watching out there tonight. Again, under our first caution for contact from Johan and Cody Porter. I don't believe anybody pitted there, and if they did, they probably just topped off for fuel. Like I said, we have 2 tire sets. Those are going to be a really big factor into tonight's race. I'd assume you're going to want to save that set as long as you can. We do have a stage caution at lap 40. So that'll kind of allow you to take your set there if you plan on taking your set there. If you plan on taking your set earlier, say we get a caution around lap 20, lap 30, you might want to take your set there and try and gain some stage points, because as you go through the season here, these stage points that you collect are going to add up. Those are going to carry through the playoffs that you may need. I've talked about this at Daytona, where I thought I had a good points advantage, but it turned out that those points can go away very quickly. So we're going to get set here to go green. This is going to send us away here. Looks like single file mostly at the front here. Not a lot going on. Like I said, this is probably going to be something that these guys are going to want to kind of chill for a little bit, not use up them tires too much. Gonna go 3 wide here in turn 1. This is the part where it gets very sketchy. We can kind of see here on this broadcast stream right here that there are seams to this track. Those are, if you can hit those just right, you can hook the car and get a good run off. But if you also miss it, it'll hurt you quite a bit. So we're going to continue to be 3 wide here, maybe even make it 4 wide. I doubt it. Looks like they're just going to keep holding on to 3 wide here. It's Joseph Sullivan there in the middle. And Johan right there, who just was involved in that last wreck. He's working his way back up. Does not look like he got too much damage there. 3 wide, still further back. 48's pulling off. He might have an issue. We'll kind of try and catch up with that here. A beautiful track, I will not lie. This is a very beautiful track, very fun. They unfortunately have taken it away from us in real life. They tore it down, unfortunately, and I'm kind of disappointed in that because it's put on some great racing. You can see how wide this track is. I mean, we've already seen 3 wide. As this race goes on later and later, we're probably going to even see 4 and 5 wide if they are willing to risk that. I know I not necessarily would be willing to risk it too much. Very early in the season, try and gain as much as you can with what you got. One other thing there, you saw the 31, he's running a little bit higher lane. I don't quite know for sure if when this run goes on, if that high lane's going to come in. I know usually at Auto Club here, you can run that high lane. You can see the 88 of Keith Shoemaker ran that high lane up there. A little bit of further back. I think they're going to keep it okay. Looks like they both kept it collected there. I believe that was that Devin Zimmer? No, it wasn't. Apologies, folks. Again, like I said, I'm going to try and continue to get this stuff working so I can get a little bit more information to myself so that I can give more information to you guys. Some of my things here are not working correctly, so I'm going to do my best that I can with what I have. And as this race goes on, I'll try and get that solved. can see right there in that shot how bumpy this track is. That's going to be another thing that we're going to have to watch out for. This backstretch is very bumpy, and if you're going in there side by side trying to side draft somebody, those bumps can upset your car quite a bit, and that can, if you're not precise on your move, it'll force those situations into what can be wrecks. Not guaranteed wrecks. Majority of the time you'll hit those bumps, wash up a little bit, wash down a little bit, make a little bit of contact, upset your car a bit. Handling is going to be a big thing here. We are running iRacing fix setups, so you can't adjust on the car here at all. The only thing you can really adjust is the brake bias, and coming here, having that brake bias as you go on is going to help lowering it. Sorry, I should say lowering that brake bias is going to help it out a little bit. It's not guaranteed. I personally, as a driver, when I use the brake bias, when I go up and down, I don't feel like it makes that much of a difference. I, however, usually race my heart out pretty good, and by that time my tires are worn out, so it probably wouldn't even be that much of a difference for me. I'm going to put us on a cockpit here for a second. I'm going to hop on board with Eric Garrison. And this is actually not updating correctly. Oh, wait, no, it did. Wrong driver, actually. So let's go back to Eric Garrison. All right, there we go. So you can see here in this shot how bumpy this track is. You can see how upset. You can see the sparks ahead of him. I'm not quite sure if we were able to get a good shot there, but this sun is going to also be an issue going into turns 3 and coming out at 2. So we're just going to ride on board with him for a lap, and we'll see if we can point out how bumpy again and how bright the sun is going to be. Right there, you can see how bright that sun is. That's going to be a factor going into the race. It will get darker because we have a start time of, actually I'm not quite sure, but I do know that the sun will be setting. I'm not quite sure if we'll get fully into the night, but we will have to deal with that for a majority of the race. And right here, a majority, you can see it, these guys have grouped back up together. This is probably this point in the run where guys who maybe used up their tires a little bit more at the start are kind of fading back, and those guys who saved are pushing forward. So this is a big jumble mess here. I'm sure these guys are really eager to get up towards the front if you've saved those tires enough. Over back at the front, it's Kazi and Johan, our two, I'd say, most dominant cars so far of the season. Kazi has won 2 races. Johan hasn't quite had the luck there, but he has been really fast. Our other winner, Reese Schaefer, back in 16th. I'd assume he's probably just saving tires, playing it smart. This looks like they have 2 different agendas. Joseph looks like he's kind of letting it go off the start. He's got 2 wins in the bag. Doesn't really need to play conservative. Reese looks like he's trying to maybe conserve those tires and get as much of an advantage on the rest of the field, just because he has that little cushion of a win. I'm not quite positive if that's what he's doing. Knowing Reese, though, I'm assuming that's what he's doing. I could be very wrong. A little bit of contact there in the back. Looks like they kept it together there. again, this is kind of what I talked about. Those bumps on the backstretch, those are going to be a factor. If you're going to be going up and side drafting somebody, those bumps are going to upset and really make a hassle for you. This is some great racing these guys are putting on so far. I mean, we've seen battles almost since the drop of the green flag. I honestly was not expecting this much racing to be happening. From what I talked to Bryce personally earlier tonight, and it seemed like he had said that this right front was going to be a really big factor, and I would have assumed that we would be single file, probably riding until about 20, 25 laps in. But it looks like these guys are just ready to go. These guys are showing that the tires, although they matter, they aren't allowing the tire to get ahead of themselves. Got a battle going on for second place here. Vincent just dove down and took that second spot from Johan. Looks like he's trying to go for more. Maybe got a little bit tight there behind our leader. Now he dives to the inside. He's going to be clear of the three. Johan's going to wash up into Cosert there. Kept it straight. New leader, Vincent Cortez at the lead. So looking here at my lap data and field data, I do think we will need to pit here before the end of stage 1, which is again at lap 40. From what I've seen, we can run about 30 to 33, maybe 34 laps if you're able to stretch it that far. That is, unless you took fuel at that caution, I don't think you'd have enough. Maybe you'd have enough if you're really saving. I would expect that a majority of these guys have to pit, though. I don't see there being a way that you can make it on fuel. And like I said, again, this is going to be, if we do and when these guys do pit, this is going to be who does what. Do you want to take those set of tires? Do you want to save those set of tires? Do you want to get stage points? Do you want to go for the race win? This is going to be a whole mess that these drivers are going to have to come up with if they're talking to a live crew chief, or maybe they're talking to team members. So I'm sure they're planning it out right now, or they've already planned it out and had a game plan ahead of this race. Gosh, just look at those bumps on the backstretch. That is amazing to see, quite honestly. The way that these cars can just take those bumps and still be, I think we're almost hitting maybe 180, 100, maybe a little bit higher than that going down the backstretch. I know in draft it's probably going to be a little bit more quicker than that, but these guys are going extremely fast down this back straightaway. I'm not sure if this justifies it. Can see a big run coming from the 04. He's going to give that 10 of Jordan Berry. Quite a push there. Derek's going to be peeking to the inside of Johan there for that third position. And looks like 3 got a little bit tight there. He's going to check up both of those guys, and that's going to allow Derek and Cody Porter to slide in on the bottom here. Cody maybe not so much. Will he? We'll see if he's able to complete the pass. Now it looks like he's going to get a little bit tight. He's going to have to let out of that throttle. He will be clear behind him though. But that's going to kill the momentum that he had going into that turn. And actually, it looks like we have a... Is it a caution? I don't. Maybe it is. No, it's not. Are we live? I hope we're live. This could be funky if we're not live. I didn't think about that actually. So we're gonna keep on going with this. No, it looks like we do have a caution. Alright. Let's see if we can tell what the caution was for. Looks like it was Jordan Berry here. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened here. Oh, a little bit of hook from the 78 right there. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it looks like he checked up for the 04 right there and just unfortunately caused a stack up there behind him. Alright folks, I am going to try and get this replay set up so we can get a little bit better of an idea of what happens during these cautions. Again, apologies. I'm going to take the opportunity here while we're under caution to get this set up. But while I'm setting this up, I will go through this. We are at lap 32. Stage is lap 40. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. You have the opportunity, maybe if you're back here, further in the back, like a Bryce Shoemaker, Nick Wood. If you're further down the lineup, you have the chance to take tires and possibly give yourself a shot at getting the stage win, or at least better stage points here. If you're up towards the front like Derek, I'd assume you'd want to stay out and continue to go for the race win strategy. What I would think would be the race win strategy. I'm not quite positive if that is going to be the race strategy. We'll have to see what these guys decide to do. Looks like some of these guys are entering pit lane here. I'm going to try and get us back focused here because I pressed the button again and the whole thing is messed up. Alright. I'm pretty sure we'll be fine here. Alright. Let's get these guys stacked up. Pace car is pulling off. Coming to the completion of lap 34. Derek has a control car. Green flag back in the air. We're gonna send it in there. Is he gonna clear him? He's gonna clear Derek. He's gonna get the lead. See this mess right here of all these cars back here. Our top 10 positions play or give points. So these drivers right here in this mess, these guys are going to be fighting for all they can. Bryce Shoemaker is going to send it high there on the outside of these guys. 0-4 down there on the bottom. Here comes Nick Wood in the 6th. .37 is going to get really tight back there. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. That sun no longer really that big of a factor here going into turns 3. So that's, I'm sure, a very good sight for the drivers here. And that will mean that this track is going to cool down a little bit. And these guys are going to get a little bit quicker. You can kind of see already these lanes are moving up just a bit. Opening more of a variety of things you can pick and choose where you want to run. Bryce Shoemaker is going to get hooked right there in the... Oh, let's get there. It's going to be a caution here. Looks like that's going to be quite a bit of damage to the 54. Let's see what happened here. Alright, so coming off of 2. Slides up in front of the 23. 23 tried to... Oh. Looks like the 23 was trying to get to his outside and there just wasn't enough room there. We can go back again. You can see... This developed right... I'm gonna say this developed right here. You can see Bryce got a really good turn 1. The 23 a little bit higher. He's gonna slide up here off exit in front of the 23 who didn't get that good of a run. And yeah, you can see just trying to get to his outside. Kind of a, maybe a little bit of a block there from the 54 of Bryce Shoemaker, and that just kind of sent things in the wrong direction for both these drivers. And I believe that will be the stage. So most of these guys are gonna get 4 tires, fuel, get it all reset. Now he's gonna cycle Nick Wood to the front here. I do believe he pitted when we had that caution earlier. So this is the strategy that I was kind of talking about earlier. Many different things you can play. This is gonna work out for Nick. He's got a beautiful paint scheme, I should point out. This is, well, probably my personal favorite, to be quite honest. Let's see if we can get a good shot here. I'm not quite sure if I can actually get a good shot here. I don't know if these cameras are actually currently set up to give me the best view on some of this stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna be kind of hard to show y'all, but it's really beautiful looking paint scheme. It's got the league logos. It's got what I kind of have deemed Nick's color of like this purple, kind of vibrant chrome and silver look to it. Right here, we're getting a good shot at it. Really a beautiful paint scheme. Alright, one thing we should watch out here on this start is there's going to be, like I said, Nick's stayed out, I believe. I'm going to assume that some of these guys took just fuel if they did pit with Nick at the last caution. So it's going to be kind of something to see here. Hopefully Nick has some tires cleaned off and is ready to go. Doesn't have too much tire spin. He's going to set him off, and we're going to go green flag racing back here. 57 of Joseph Sullivan, not really a good start there. You can kind of see he got a little bit of tire spin there. Maybe singles following themselves out here, looks like for the most part. Too wide there in the back, quite a bit a ways back. So Sullivan looks like he's going to take it to the inside here. He's going to use that front stretch. I'd say apron to is really, it's a really big apron, and it's five lanes wide, I believe. And I like to call it no man's land down there, but he's using no man's land, and he's going to take the lead coming out of turn 2 here. Back to Vincent here, who was just involved in that wreck with the 54 Bryce Shoemaker. Looks like he took that fast repair, unless they unless they really fixed it up. I don't know about that though. So they're gonna make it 3 wide here actually, as I'm talking about him. This tight racing here, a little bit of check up there on the bottom side, keeping it all clean and green for the most part. Just look at those sparks fly off from behind those cars. That's so cool to see. I've got 3 by 3 by 3 by 2. Really chaotic if you're back here. Maybe a little bit of 4 wide action right there. Nick's going to hit the wall. A little bit of contact back there. Everybody's going to keep it straight for the most part. Ooh, that was a 37 of Aaron K. Just got that little bit of wall just enough and almost caused a wreck. Was able to keep it straight though. Everybody kept their heads on and was able to avoid that wreck. Or what could have been a wreck. Whoa, right there. Late move by the 13 of Devin Zimmerman on Joseph Sullivan. Got to his bumper, pulled out at the last second, and that was risky. Nick Wood kind of fading back here. He's back to the 9th position after starting first on that restart. Honestly, he's not doing too bad though. I would have thought that there would have been a bigger advantage. Granted, it's been 6, almost 7 laps, and he's down about 8 positions, but I'm kind of surprised that these tires were hanging on for a good majority of these laps here. Three wide further back here. Looks like 31, 57, 9, 04 is way up there. Jordan Trask there in the middle of the 77 to 31 sandwich. Beautiful racing though, I will say. This is beautiful racing. We got a lot of excitement building up here. Oh, looks like a little bit of check up there. They're gonna keep it straight. Those tires are not doing Nick too well right now. He's gonna continue to slowly slide back. Again, not too far back. He's kind of holding his own, but you can definitely see the advantage here. As they're going to get a little bit of contact made underneath them. Going to slide up a bit. .37 is going to shut the door there on the exit on Nick Wood. For the most part, these guys are going to go back to single file. Actually, no, as I say that, the 77 is going to look to the outside of the 04. All right, we're going to go back up to the front because we actually got a race for the lead here. 78 of Tyler. I'm going to totally botch your name. Dohar. And Vincent Cortez, along with Eric Garrison. Vincent is actually one of our rookies this season. He is currently, or he was at the start of this race, -4 from the rookie league standings. And you can see here he's ready. He's shown up as a 5 makes a dive to the inside. But Vincent has shown up. He's ready to go. We talked to him at Daytona at the end of the Daytona race, and he seemed he was really pumped up about the season. He had a really good finish. I can't remember quite where he finished last week. but from talking to him, he sounded like he was ready to go, and I think we're going to see a lot out of him this season. These guys are going to continue to trade the lead right here. 23 is going to get a little bit tight right there. Stays off of the 5. You could see how close that was right there. 56 is going to go behind the 23, help him out. 56 and 23 are teammates, I believe, so no surprise there. Eric's going to be holding his own, though, on the high side. Side by side for the race lead, coming to lap 52. Which means we're halfway. Well, I guess we're a little bit halfway at this point. But we should be getting close to our pit window here very shortly. Still side by side for the race lead. These guys are not willing to give it up one bit. It's pretty much been a back and forth game of Vincent, you take it. Eric, you take it. Vincent, I'll take that back. Eric, I'll take that back. It's been a really fun battle to watch these last few laps. I do wonder if Eric is going to use up those right sides a little bit more, running that higher lane, and if that's gonna affect him at all. So far, it doesn't really look like it. He's been able to hold his pretty much own there this whole time, even with Vincent getting a little bit help from the 56 of Johan. Actually, Vincent's gonna get up there, and that was a really aggressive move to get up there, but I like it. It gets him clear, gives him kind of a little bit more room to work with, allows him to refocus and be like, hey, I need to readjust. I need to set this pass up. See right here, he's looking to the inside there with the help from the 56 of Johan. He's gonna get a big momentum here. And we're going to be side by side for the lead once again. Vincent's going to clear him there. Looks like Eric had a little bit. As I say that, he's going to dive it back to the inside here, and they're going to be side by side once again. See if Eric sends it in deep here, trying to clear the 23, and it looks like he is, and he's going to clear up. He's actually going to hit the. He's going to be a little bit tight. He's not going to be able to actually clear him fully. So they're going to be side by side once again coming off the exit here. Both lanes having some help. 56 helping the 5, 2 helping the 23. 56 is going to dive in behind that 2, and now it's going to leave Eric just alone on the inside lane. I really like that lane that Eric just ran. That was holding the white team. He did a really good job at that. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to hold off the 23, but I really liked how it looked. Devin Zimmerman is another name that we haven't really talked about at all tonight. He is also a rookie. He was the current rookie standing leader going into this race. Started 5th, as you can see here. Or started 13th, sorry. Currently 5th. So he's worked his way up quite a bit here. I don't really know too much about him, to be quite honest with you. From what I've been able to tell, he's been pretty fast. He's made smart moves. We're going to have to see as the season goes on if he's able to hold on to this rookie standing, or this rookie battle, or if he's going to kind of fade here and there. As we've been talking about Vincent, he's got really good competition with Vincent. Vincent currently the leader right now, so that's going to be kind of hard to hold him off here for that top spot. This guy's going to be 3, maybe 4. Now they're going to keep it 3 wide. Maybe 4. Kind of hard to tell here. These guys are all over the place racing right now. But this is some good action-packed racing. That was a little bit of a sketchy exit right there for the 78. You could kind of see his rear end kicked out a bit. Able to hang on to it. Didn't lose a lot of momentum, but I'm sure if you're around him, you're kind of had a, oh crap, here we go moment. Completion of lap 60. We're going to kind of go back here a little bit, and we're going to go back to about where Nick Wood is. Now, if you remember, he stayed out at the caution, and it has not worked out in his favor. He is, let's see, how far off is he from the leaders? It's pretty far off. He's about 6 seconds, I'd say. And he's gonna need to, he's not out of it yet, but he does need to kind of refocus. He needs to, I'm sure he's gonna be hoping for a caution here, because that is that is not ideal for his current winning strategy. I could be wrong though. It could come back in the end. I wasn't really paying too much attention earlier on with these strategies and how they worked out. Cody Porter was another one of these guys who stayed out there, I believe, or maybe he just took fuel only. Him and Sullivan, all 3 of these guys started up in the first, I'd say, 2 lanes, and they've fallen back to 7 seconds off this lead pack. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. You might be needing to hold out for caution, just like right there. We have that caution that we were just talking about. Now it looks like that's the 13 of Devin Zimmerman. Looks like that car is broke in the right front. He's going to come back on track, almost take out somebody. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened here. Alright, so we got, oh, looks like some pushes have gone wrong right there from the 8 to the 78. Unfortunately, Devin Zimmerman was just an unfortunate bystander in that, and that's gonna kill his race. You can see he's trying to limp it around without going a lap down. He does not have any right front, it looks like, though. So this is gonna be interesting to kind of see him work his way back around. And just like we were talking about a few seconds ago, this caution is going to help out some of those guys who maybe have saved a set, maybe have taken fuel only earlier on. sure everybody's going to want at least 4 fresh tires at this point. Could be wrong, but we're at 63 out of 100 and put on, I think, about 24-ish laps right there. It's actually going to overshoot quite a bit, so that's going to hurt him. See, Johan did too right there in front of him. Gonna have some battles coming off the pit road here. So this is gonna shake up the lineup quite a bit. All right, we'll see here. I don't believe it's 2 to green yet. But you'll see we do have a choose cone. We're kind of like a choose start finish line. So these guys are going to be able to pick their lane, pick where they want to be. So I would think that we'd want to be choosing this outside lane at this point. I could be wrong. I know the inside lane technically would be probably the smarter and safer move, but I feel like from what we've seen, this high side it's not a bad pick. I think you'll be able to get a lot of momentum, especially coming down this backstretch on this start here. And with this choose cone, this kind of sets you up for your destiny and your fate. You can either gain a lot of spots, you could lose a lot of spots. You could set yourself up for being in a wreck if we get a wreck on these restarts. So we'll have to see what happens here as we take the green flag again. Joseph Kazi, Vincent Cortez on your front row, green flag back in the air. Good jump by that 3 car on the outside lane. 23 is going to slot in behind him. Mostly single file, looks like, for the time being. Some racing in the back there. But it looks pretty calm for what we've had with tonight's race so far with these restarts. Go back a little bit further here and see how some of these guys are handling with this racing back here. Nothing too crazy. I mean, your typical 2-3 wide racing. Price Shoemaker there in the 54 in the middle. Trying to have a better night. He's not had the best few weeks here. I know he gets super hyped up for a wide actually right now. So let's just take a minute and not jinx him by saying anything. So like they're going to start it out for the time being. Thankfully, I didn't jinx them. I would have hated to have jinxed them. Just going to send it in below the 9 here. Jordan Trask. He's going to be clear up. Is he going to take it? Looks like he's going to try and go for more. And Justin Day there in the 24 car. Sending it in, he's going to be clear here again. Let's go ahead and see how many. A lot of these guys are up a lot of positions. Currently, Stephon Davis there, sitting in second place. Or, sorry, sitting in second place. Has gained quite a few. Well, I say second place. Now the leader has gained 21 spots since the start of this race. So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty much a back to front challenge, as we call it. And biggest loser is Rob Hamp, down 13 positions since the start. He's kind of had uneventful nights, but he'll definitely want to try and get those 13 lost spots back. Sixty cars really looking fast. He's pulled almost half a second on these guys behind him. Now, that could be too big of a gap here. We'll have to see if he's using up his tires and trying to gain as much as he can right now. We still do have to pit one more time, I believe. And if he's thinking about splitting this in half, he's probably wanting to give as much as he can right now and then pit once his tires start to give and wear out a bit. Looking at that shot right there down that back straightaway, it looks like a lot of these guys have gone back to single file. I'm sure business is going to pick up here very shortly, but for the time being, I think these guys are just trying to survive until their next pit stop, which is going to be a game changer. I think we're going to get some strategy again played into it. I'm not quite sure how much strategy these guys have left. I'm not sure if some of these guys even have a tire set left. I'd assume you would. And if that's the case, then you're going to want to probably take those, I'd assume. Those last set of tires. And if you're out of tires, well, then you're in kind of a worse position. We're going to go back here a little bit. You can kind of see this group back here is kind of falling off a bit. Not too crazy. Again, not too calm though. Or 9 looks like he's ready to get going. He's gonna hit that. He's gonna hit that throttle down and pass a few cars there on that inside lane. That is Judson Curtis. Again, we haven't really talked about him too much tonight. Started 21st, currently in the top 10 battling for a top 5 position. Vincent Cortez there to his outside. Had that incident earlier. He's been able to rebound back inside the top 10. Hopefully he's able to keep it clean, because I do believe he did take that one fast break earlier, so I would rather not see his night end early here. Some good racing going on here though. Bryce Shoemaker going down to the inside lane here. He's going to try and get past these 3 teammates on the outside. That's going to be a tough task for him to do. These 3 work really well together. They dominated all of Daytona. They worked really well at Kansas last week. And if you get those 3 hooked up together, they are a weapon. '54 is going to be able to clear up. He's going to get in front of these guys. Sure, he's going to set sail now and try and go hunt down these top 3. Really good run out of Bryce Shoemaker tonight. Very wide battle behind him. Johan looks like he's been trying to kind of gain position. Hasn't really been able to gain too much. He's been in that middle lane these past few laps. He's been bouncing between this middle and low lane. Hasn't really gained a lot, but he's trying at least. Looks like he's going to fall in line now in front of the 04 of Cody Porter and behind his teammate of the 23 of Vincent Cortez. Coming to 16 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway. Current leader is Stefan Davis. Stefan. I'm gonna get these names horribly wrong, unfortunately. I am just out of it with names. Got a new second place driver. That's Reese Schaefer in that 17 car. We talked about him earlier tonight. He was kind of down there in the lower, I think 20s it was, if I'm correct. And I think if I hit on it correctly, he did what I said he was gonna do, which was kind of save for the majority of this race and then kind of steadily work his way up back towards the front as this race goes on. Currently finds himself P2 after all of this strategy and these pit stops, and I think he's gonna give Davis a run for his money here in the next 15 laps. I think he's holding a little bit back right now. I think he's a little bit quicker than what he's showing, so we're gonna have to watch out for him here. One other thing I will point out here is that you can kind of see the sun is gone. We are pretty much fully in nighttime. So earlier on, when you had that sun directly pointing into your face going into turns 3, coming out of turn 2, you don't really have to deal with that anymore. Jordan Berry's going to hit the wall a little bit. Hang on to it. He's going to hang on to it. But as I was saying, yeah, so no more sun, it's nighttime, track's a little bit cooler. It's going to allow some of these lanes to open up here, and if you want to find speed, I think you're going to have to kind of work your way up a little bit higher and higher every lap. I think we're in the point in this run to where that bottom lane is going to be good until you try and make a pass on somebody, because if you go down low trying to make a pass on somebody, you're more than likely going to end up getting super tight with the way these cars work. And when that happens, you have to get, I'd say you'd have to get out the throttle. Some guys maybe choose not to get out the throttle, but you should get out the throttle. And when you get out the throttle, you lose all this momentum. These cars are really throttle sensitive, and the more throttle you let out, the bigger loss of time and speed you have. And going back up to the front, we actually have a new race leader. We have Reese Schaefer to the lead. Looks like that 60 finally had to pit, so that's going to move Reese to the lead. Joseph to second, using that whole backstretch to his advantage, trying to break that draft for Joseph back there, not let Joseph get any draft and momentum run. So there's a 60 car coming off the pit road there down below. He's going to be a lap down, but with this, he'll at least be close enough to the leaders to maybe, if he's pushing hard enough, he'll be able to get his lap back. He is racing the car right here in front of him, Nick Wood, for this lucky dog position. And if we do get that caution, that's going to be something that he's going to want to be in the spot for. He's actually going to waste no time to get around Nick Wood there in the 6, so he will now move up to the being first car lap down. Eight laps to go this time by here at Auto Club Speedway. That 60 has unlapped himself, which is really big, especially with what it looks to be new tires. I know I'm not the smartest guy, but I don't think you'd be able to gain that much time on older tires. So that's going to be really big, because if we do get a late race caution, he's not going to have to get the lucky dog, which would then start him at the back of the pack. So this is that's really big for him. And Reese is just going to continue to pull away from Joseph here, and he's gained another half a second over the last 4-ish laps. Sullivan not giving up though, he's still in this fight. Again, race isn't over until it's over, so until we see that checkered flag wave, nothing is official. Got a battle going on here. Actually, I do think Eric pitted, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so he's actually 1 lap down. So never mind that. Got things heating up for 3rd place here with Cody Porter in the 04, Jordan Berry in the 10. Nick Wood right there, lap down. He's going to kind of get in this mix, either for the better or for the worse, depending on who you ask. I'm sure these guys don't really like having a lap down car be there, but sometimes you can use it to your advantage. A bit of contact there with the 6 and the 23. 23, I think, is not really appreciating the fact that he's getting raced by Nick Wood. But that's racing, you know. if he wants to race him, have at it. Nothing wrong with that. I like that. Don't give 100%. Don't give up. He's finally able to clear Nick Wood there for that open track. Here comes Eric Garrison in the 5. Also currently lap down. Nick Wood is actually going to be pitting, so some of these guys look to be a little bit short on fuel. I think the majority of these guys are actually good at this point, I think, but that will be something that we'll want to watch out for. Side-by-side battle for third place here. The 04 and the 10 again. 04 is going to be able to clear him. He's going to move up to third place now. It's actually going to be clear quite a bit. Going back up front though, your race leader, Reese Schaefer. 2 laps to go. Got a 1.1 second lead over second place. Oh, they're going to make contact behind him. They're going to save it. That's going to be... What a save out of Joseph Sullivan. That's going to really hurt him there. But that was a heck of a save to keep it straight. Unfortunately, Eric Garrison's going to get the worst of that there. We're going to keep it green. And Reese Schaefer is going to take the white flag here at Auto Club Speedway. One more time down the backstretch here at Auto Club Speedway. And it looks like Jordan Berry might be out of fuel. Jordan Berry's out of fuel, it looks like. Are any of these other guys? I think the majority of these guys are going to be fine. Coming to the checkered flag, Reese Schaefer is going to be your winner here at Auto Club Speedway. Back-to-back wins. What an intense and exciting race that was. That was something. That was... We had 3-4 wide finish, or racing almost the whole way. We had fuel there. At the end, Joseph Sullivan able to come back and finish third actually. So after that big slide with about 3 laps to go, he's able to rebound and make something out of it. Bryce Shoemaker there in 5th position. Really good night out of him. Can see the congrats from Derek Garrison there. See if he burns it down here or not. Looks like he's kind of just getting to the start finish line barely. So we're gonna get you some driver interviews here in a second. Again, congrats to Reese Schaefer here on the win tonight. Really fun, really exciting race all around. I'm gonna wait and see if I can get some people up. We're gonna give these drivers a second to get settled in, and then we'll move on to some interviews here. All right, let's try and get a word in here with our winner here. Hey Reese, you got a coffee? All right, man. Well, I kind of called it. I kind of said early on that you were kind of saving there at the beginning, and we'd probably see you as a threat later on in the race. Talk me through about what your strategy and plan was going. through with tonight?
For lap 60 when the college came out, and got that first set. I knew uh, I was sitting pretty good getting through the field, and I just kind of waited my time, let the pack clear out, and then I went to the front, and then at the end there was a little close on fuel, but as sadly for you, I didn't do any burnouts because I didn't have any left, so I ran out. Right as I hit the line, I sputtered, so I got it perfectly, so on the dot. So, but yeah, it was good race, fun race. Strategy worked out well, and here we are, P1.
Yeah, I will add on to that. I did notice that you were kind of running out of fuel there at the start finish line when you came back around to do a burnout. So, uh, thankfully, I
Yeah.
think you'll be thankful that you at least got to do one last week. But I'm sure back-to-back burnouts would at least would have been fun for you. Um,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I wish I could have, but it's just the way the race worked out. Couldn't do it tonight, so not a big deal. So
yeah. Um, I mean, talking to you previously at Daytona, I think it was, you kind of had said some things about this season, and does anything you said earlier on like change now that you have two wins?
um, no, I earlier you're right. You just wanted the parlay off, and so I did. Got it locked in last week, and now we get 200 belts. That always helps, and definitely good playoff points. I really just want to keep my consistency up, and try new things, and especially with this car and this track combo, you're always learning something new when you drive this car. And like tonight, for instance, I was really shocked that it was really a lot tighter than looser, especially even in clean air. And so had to use a lot more brake than I thought you would have coming into the night. So yeah, just it's always something to learn, always more to go after. But yeah, I super glad came home where we did, and yeah, I'm content, satisfied, and can't wait to go on next week and try to repeat it.
All right, well, thank you, Reese, for taking a few minutes to speak with us. I don't want to hold you up too much longer. You got some celebrating to do. Um, is there anyone you'd like to say thanks? Any shout outs?
Yeah, yeah, I'd like to thank out Mid Michigan Milk Producers Association. They're on the hood. They've been with us for a couple of years now, and I love supporting them, and they love supporting me. And my dad loves watching the broadcast. Grandpa, my girlfriend Emily, she loves supporting me, and my whole family that they love to watch and be a part of what I do. And I am so blessed and thankful to have them around me. And I'd like to thank you, Oscar, for putting on a great broadcast. And yeah, I hopefully will be talking to you next week.
I like the plan of that. I I hate racing against you sometimes because you're always so fast, but I know that watching you, it's really interesting and it's honestly really fun to see you work your way up through the field. So again, like you said, hopefully we can see you and talk to you next week in Victory Lane.
Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. So, of course, man. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty,
Have a good night.
you too. All right, there you had it. Your race winner, Reese Schaefer. I'm gonna try and see if we can get up some of these other drivers quick. Um, all right, I'm gonna get a Bryce Shoemaker here in a second. So stand by. All right, folks. I got Bryce Shoemaker here. Bryce, got a coffee.
Yep. What's going on?
Alrighty, dog. Well, you had an eventful night. You, I'd say, probably, at least I'll say, I was a little bit surprised you're able to come home with the top 5 finish. But overall, great night for you.
Yeah, it was just about strategy. I was off sequence pretty much the whole entire night, so I never got to show what I had, or I don't even think there was a time of this race where I pushed 100%. So, luckily the last caution played out right to where I could fuel save to get that track position with having the extra set of tires as well. So it was just balancing, pushing hard to fuel saving. So a couple of those guys ran out there on the last lap, and we knocked that top 5 out. So glad to build momentum after the PC issues last week. So we'll take it.
Yeah, you talk about PC issues. I'm sure that kind of gets in your mindset going through the week and affects how much you're able to practice and whatnot. So, coming into this race tonight, did you were you a little bit nervous?
No, I was excited for like the first time in a long time. I had to do a PC wipe and reinstalled everything on Friday night. So, as you know, I do the SNR series, and that's kind of almost the experiment for tonight. And didn't have a single issue last night, and I didn't have a single issue tonight. So, just a lot of fun to actually enjoy these races now. So, I hope we can keep on knocking these top 5 and top 10s out with a good running PC now.
Yeah, I hope so too. I enjoy seeing you finish good. You most of the time run pretty much around that 5 to 10th place area and might not always get the finish that you deserve. So I was really happy when I saw that you actually gained a few spots here at the very end, and I know you're running better than I would have expected. So
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm just like you said. I'm super excited too, and hopefully we can keep on knocking these finishes out. But I know we got Long Beach coming up in 2 weeks, so don't be expecting much there. I know we have New Hampshire and some other like more oddball tracks. So we'll see. We'll put some practice in and see if we can start building a good points gap for the playoffs.
that sounds good to me. Before I let you go, is there anyone you'd like to say thank you? Any comments, concerns?
No, I just gotta say thank you to each driver that showed up tonight. Can't do it without them. So another 24 plus car field. So race number 3, and we're still having that above 20, which is the goal this season. So can't thank them enough. And thank you to Derek and Joseph, the co-admins and owners. They do a fantastic job helping me out run this each week. And gotta thank you. You're doing a great job, and I can't wait to watch this back.
Alrighty, thank you, Bryce. It means a lot. We'll hopefully talk to you more this season.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. There you had it. Your P5 finisher, Bryce Shoemaker in the 54 car. We're going to get some more guys up here in a second. Oh boy. Alright, I'm going to get Cody Porter and Joseph Sullivan, and we will start with Sullivan. If I can drag him up here, maybe. Alright, Joseph, you got a copy there.
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
Alrighty. Well, P3 finish. Wasn't almost went bad there at the end, but you're able to rebound, and I thought you almost had a chance there for the win. Tell me a little bit about your night.
The whole with this new update came out for season 2. My half of my display, like on my black box, was like pushed to the left, so I couldn't see like I couldn't see if my left sides were checked or not. I couldn't do it with my mouse, like, and like most of the boxes were like that. So I was already at a disadvantage there, and I started from the pitch because just to see if I could fix it in the settings or do something, but I could not find a quick key for that. So I pretty much started way behind the 8 ball, and then I found out about using the space bar and found out about all that. So I was like, all right, well now I'm just gotta hope for the best here, and stayed out at the end of stage one. Wasn't too bad. After that, as far as tires go, because I was saving so much, I was already at my tires were like 91, 92. But other than that, just kept clawing my way up there and took tires in that last caution, and yeah, I almost made it, but I didn't account for the speed of the new tires as far as fuel goes, so that kind of put me behind the 8 ball, and I almost had a shot, but Reese topped off there, and congrats to him, by the way. He topped off, and I think that's what sealed the deal for him. Then I was pushing pretty hard at the start of the run, and yeah, at the end there, it was a really weird thing. Like Cody barely touched me. It spun me around, but like it was a weird thing there. But overall, I'm all right with the P3, considering all the adversity I had, and we're gonna go to the next track here and see if we can't get a win.
Yeah, so I will say you do really good at these mile and a half tracks. uh, was that? I'm not sure if running up front. I mean, at least towards the end, was that kind of a surprise to you, or is it kind of like something where you're like, oh, this is easy. I can do this.
Um, I thought it kind of surprised me, because I don't know who took tires there at the last caution or who didn't, but I just started like dicing. I'm like, oh, all right. They're just hitting the brake pedal for me now. But yeah, I honestly, mile halves have been one of my stronger suits. I'm usually able to at least be in contention, and I can usually work the air pretty well. Um, like when I got clear of the 60 there for the lead, I made sure to pin the thing to the bottom and try to give him as much dirty air as possible. But overall, I mean, from a mile and a half, 2 mile program, that's about it's a little better than I expected, to be quite honest with you, especially going against some of these guys like Causey and Reese and all that, and Vincent. But overall, I think it's a good night for me, and I'm not sure where we're going next, but wherever it is, I'm excited to get there and at least try to get the win.
Yeah, I believe it's New Hampshire next. What are your what are your thoughts on that track?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to try my best.
You know what? I like the sound of that.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones where you got to be patient on the throttle. And I think one of those that's definitely my kind of tracks where you got to be patient. You got to just be patient on the throttle before you get onto it. Make sure it rotates. That's definitely one of my stronger suits.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of agree to that from racing with you a few times. I hope we can see you back in the top three next week. I would love to see it.
I'll try my damnedest.
I I also hope that we can see you much. I mean, from the start of the season, it seems like you've been able to improve a little bit over last season. So hopefully that'll carry more into this run into the middle of the season here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've definitely improved a little bit and got a couple good tracks. I mean, I got Chicagoland, I'm pretty decent at. Pocono, I'm good at. Southern National, that's one of my sleeper tracks, I think. But, and then you got later in the season, you got Bristol and North Wilkesboro. Those things are strong tracks for me. But overall, I think I can be in at least top five contention for most tracks.
I like the sound of that. I really do. All right, before I let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Any shout outs?
Well, let's thank my teammate Todd Dohar for giving me, because I was pretty pissed off at the beginning of this race, and he kept me calm because I was not very happy about the whole dash thing being moved over on the Mustangs. But he kept me calm and just tried to give me his best advice he can because he's a good driver. He's been doing this a while, but he definitely helped me out. Thanks to him, and Yeah, thanks to everyone that's helped me get here.
That's part of the game, is having a good teammate. That'll go a long ways.
Absolutely.
All right, Joseph. I'll let you go. Congrats on the P3 finish.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Doing a good job here.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we'll get on to Cody Porter here. Move this up very quick. Cody Porter, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, tell me about your night.
It was eventful. We got wrecked on lap 2. Fortunately, no damage. Recouped, saved tires, and then I think we got a caution around the first stage a little early. Couldn't make it to the end of the race. Didn't take tires. I was hoping for a caution to come out around lap 60, and I'll be danged if a caution didn't come out right on lap 61, which put it right into our hands to save just enough fuel to make it to the end. But unfortunately, Reese got out ahead of us, and I couldn't catch him in time, even though I saved right over a gallon of fuel. So, saved a little too much and not enough time.
That's the name of the game. Not enough time. I will say, watching you tonight, like you said, you kind of had an eventful start there. I'm sure that set you back a little bit. I mean, obviously it didn't set you back too much since you're able to rebound in second place here. But playing into those strategies and cautions, how did that affect your mindset?
Well, I know it put me. I didn't want to take a set of tires, even though it burned up quite a bit of rubber spinning out. So I had to take it really easy that first whole run, even though we're still pretty quick. So I had to make some pretty aggressive moves here and there to make sure I didn't get sucker hold all the way to the back. So I just had to be a little more aggressive. The second run, we were able to be way more, I guess, cautious, while still being plenty fast. I think you can see that by getting up to P2 and still having plenty of speed to catch them at the end.
Yeah, that's something I do want to ask you though, because like you said, you said you could have been a little bit more aggressive. You said there's maybe a little bit more left in the car. And going into tonight, from talking to some drivers, it seemed as though maybe we were expecting kind of like this right front to be abused a little bit more and not be able to have as much side-by-side racing as we did. I'm not sure if you were able to get a lot of practice in, but what were your thoughts on that?
The set was very tight. It was definitely sitting on the right front if you drove it in hard. I think a lot of people were doing that. But if you backed it up and tried to drive it like a sane person, you could get it loosened up quite a bit, and it felt pretty decent.
Yeah, well, I'm I'm stoked. You're right. You're one of my best buddies, and being able to watch you throughout the night, and almost had a close call there at the end, but we're able to hang on to a PT finish. I'm sure that kind of got you scared for a second.
Yeah, me and Joseph talked about it. It looked like I don't know, maybe something wrong with a car. We just barely touched and it shot him down the track. I don't think it was any harm on any one of us. It was a weird little game thing, but all good, no harm, no foul. I think he rebounded to P3 anyways.
Yeah, you both could have came out a lot worse than you did, but I'm glad to hear that you guys were able to sort it and talk it out and not have too much carryover, because it's early on in the season and you'd rather not have to carry over things like those incidents throughout the whole season.
Oh, for sure.
All right, before I let you go, is there any shout outs, anyone you'd like to thank, any comments, concerns?
Thanks to the league for putting this on. Ton of fun to race these. I like having 2 tire sets. That's awesome. I like playing in the strategy, even though I only use 1 tire set the entire race for 100 laps. Kind of ridiculous. But you know what? It's all part of the game. I love it. And thanks to you for the broadcast. Can't wait to watch it back.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Look forward to hopefully seeing you in more events in the next few weeks.
I will be here next week for sure.
Alrighty. We'll be looking forward to hopefully talking to you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, folks, I'm going to get us off of here. We've been talking a lot about next week. Next week is New Hampshire 151 laps, followed by Long Beach for 40 laps, Chicagoland for 120 laps, and then Pocono for 75 laps. And then after that, we'll have a break for Easter, and then we'll get back going again. I wanted to say one last apology for technical difficulties here early on. New layouts. I'm still getting used to how things work, and unfortunately, not everything got set up correctly when I load it in. So we will look forward to fixing that for next week. Until next time, though, thank you for joining us. Thank you to all the drivers for putting on a great show, and we'll see you next time.